Good evening. Welcome to Mi Gente on Air and Happy New Year, everybody. It's been a while since I've been here in the studios, and it's good to be back with my producer, Jonathan Dent. And we're going to be talking about the arts today, specifically mariachi and ballet folklorico. And we've got a great show coming up here at SVSU on January 20th. So we're going to have a guest who's part of the Ballet Folklorico of Flint, and we're going to talk a lot about the arts and about what's happening in January because we're in January of 2024. Can you believe that? So please come on into the room. If you got a comment or you've got a concern, feel free to put it in the chat room so that we can talk about it. And we've got free tickets that we're going to be giving away as well as part of these shows. So I want you to come on in, and I'm going to have probably a trivia question that you have to have the right answer in order to get those tickets. So please join me here on Mi Gente on Air as we start our fourth year in Alpha Media Studios at WSGW.
Welcome to Mi Gente on Air on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Now, here is your host, Larry Rodarte.
Good evening and welcome to the return of Mi Gente on Air here at WSGW. I was off for the holidays for a few episodes, so this is kind of like my return. And the neat thing about it is that it's the beginning of the fourth year of Mi Gente on Air. Can you believe that? So happy New Year, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to this show that is the cornerstone here in this Saginaw area about Latino concerns, contributions, and culture. And we've got a great show tonight because we're going to be talking about the arts, specifically mariachi music, as well as ballet, folklorico dancing. And I got to tell you, we're in the year 2024, right? And for me, it feels futuristic. And I don't know if it does for anybody else out there. I'm losing my voice here. But 2024, I remember specifically way back in the 1980s, the earlys, and Back to the Future had a movie where they show him going forward in time to the year 2020, maybe 2022. I'm not sure. But we're already there and beyond that. We're in 2024, and it seems very futuristic to me for some reason because I guess I lived the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and here we are in January of 2024. And the reason I am saying that is because, I look back at the 80s and the 90s and I think about how to have a mariachi show at major university or to have a ballet folklorico group coming to Saginaw Valley State University. I don't know if that would have been heard of back in those days. I know it was very rare. And so here we are, 2024, and we've got two mariachi groups coming to the state of Michigan in January alone. So times have changed, and that's where I'm going with that. And I really want everyone to kind of support this endeavor of a young man who's going to be talking for the Ballet Folklorico that is centered in Flint, Michigan. He is from Ann Arbor, and his name is Gian Amendres. And he's with me tonight representing the group, and they're going to be performing at Saginaw Valley State University on January 20th, and as well as some other locations in the state of Michigan. And he's with us to talk all about that. So welcome, Gian. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me, Larry.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you for being here. I know that you're in the city that had a major win yesterday.
Yeah, for sure.
In Ann Arbor. So congratulations to that. And we are going to talk mariachi and ballet folklorico today. But I first want my audience to understand who is Gian Amendes, and tell me a little bit about your background and where you're from.
So I'm originally actually from the Philippines, and I was just growing up here in Ann Arbor, and just in Michigan in general. I started playing violin when I was really young, and then going through the classical classical scene, tradition, and then just really diving into different styles of music as I got, more and more bored of classical music. And then throughout my college years, as I was, going through music school, I stumbled upon this opportunity to learn a different style of music that was a little similar to the country that came from my homeland, or that's popular in my homeland, the Philippines, which where the musical tradition is also heavily influenced by Spain. So
Yes.
mariachi music, to me, I found that connection through those routes, being a violinist, and then also having that similar style in my background.
Wow, that's really surprising. The Philippines. What I remember being in Manila one time many
Hmm.
years ago during a typhoon. But what part of the Philippines are you from?
I'm from the central Philippines, from an island called Cebu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we have Filipino is not Latino, but is similar in regards to the music that you were trained in because of the Spanish connection there as well. And it's what's amazing to me is that a few years back I was in Croatia in 2016, and they had a trumpet festival over there,
Mhm.
and it was really Guchka. Gucha was a city, and I was really surprised because as we entered and we were paying our tickets to go into the festival, they were playing, the mariachis music that's very familiar to the birthday song for, Latinos, for Mexicanos, and I was
Mhm.
like, "What is this song, Las Mañanitas, being played in the country of Croatia?" It was really, really strange, but there was some immigrants that had, immigrated to Croatia from Mexico, like in the latter part of the 19th century and or yeah, the 19th century, so the 1890s, and it was a big influence in the area, and it is transferred through the generations all these years. So
Yeah.
that that's pretty astounding. But what a story you have then to be able to connect with a mariachi music. Tell me how you got involved with the El Ballet Folclórico de Estudiantil. Is that how you say it?
Ballet Folklorico Estudiantil.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me how you got involved with that.
Well, it was mostly through classmates in college. They were looking for more musicians to expand their mariachi program, which started 10 years ago. Because El Ballet Folklorico has been around for several decades already.
Yes.
Focusing on danza folklorica. But yeah, 10 years ago, coming up this year, will be our anniversary. That's when they started the mariachi aspect of the organization.
Well, I know the organization, like you said, has been around a number of years. The great Suzanne Quintanilla started way back. I believe almost around the time when I started Mi Gente magazine. So
Hmm.
I'm talking, the mid '90s, and she's done a wonderful job and has so many young people involved. And I know that there was a connection with Our Lady of Guadalupe Church in Flint, and as she was living in Flint at the time, I'm not sure where she is now because she gave me a call today from somewhere. I think it was in Texas, actually. But they did start this group way back. And then you're saying 10 years ago, they started the mariachi aspect of it and we have
Hmm.
quite a few musicians. Now, how, as you say, you actually were connected through fellow students. Did she connect somehow with the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, or did she put a call out to different um, universities, or how did that connection come?
It was mostly through the University of Michigan Flint campus there.
That's
uh,
right.
the
There's one in
music
Flint.
department. Yeah. So it was through the music department through a professor named Brian de Blasio. And he kind of, just spread the word around the department and the school, asking if anyone would be interested in learning mariachi music.
And so, how has it been for you as a musician that picked up the violin very young and played? How has that experience been for you to actually learn the beautiful music of mariachi?
Well, it was in a lot of ways, it was similar to the music that I was already accustomed to. A lot of mariachi encompasses a lot of different styles of music, such as classical, folk, as well as incorporating those indigenous rhythms that are found through dance. So it wasn't all too unfamiliar with me, but though certainly those influences that come from the indigenous aspects of mariachi music, those were something that I was definitely new to. That I was, I had to kind of really get a feel for it anyway. Um, Especially when it comes to accompanying the dancers with live music.
So that's what this group does. They accompany the ballet folklorico. Tell me how many are like in the ensemble of the mariachi group that is part of ballet folklorico?
Well, I think currently it's about 8 to 10. We kind of fluctuate. We have people, coming in and out with new opportunities that present themselves to people. But yeah, generally it's in that number of 3 to 4 violins, 2 trumpets, and then 3 to 4 in the armonia section that makes up made up of guitars and guitarron and vihuela.
Wow, very nice. So you hear that, audience? Really a treat to come on January 20th to Saginaw Valley State University, where they are going to have a performance. Now, there's so much more to this performance on a local scale as well as internationally. So I want Gian to tell us about the event at Saginaw Valley specifically, and then also tell us a little bit about the other performances that are happening throughout the state.
Well, yeah, well, I mentioned, the size of our ensemble in Flint, for our organization, but with the mariachi that we're bringing up to Flint from San Antonio, Texas, they're actually a lot bigger. They're, I think, 14 to 16 people. They have twice as many violins as us, more trumpets, and definitely a lot more vocals. And then the 2 guest artists that are coming up with them are also quite well-renowned vocalists. So one of them is Jonathan Palomar, and he's been heavily um, involved and has traveled with Mariachi Vargas de Tecalitlan.
Mm.
And then Ronda Garcia, she's a up-and-coming vocalist she's quite a powerhouse vocalist and violinist from San Antonio, Texas, as well. And she tours prominently with Mariachi Azteca de America, the one we're bringing up from Texas.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the group that's coming, Mariachi Azteca de America, and so this is a really renowned group, and it's really awesome that they're coming to the Saginaw Valley, and specifically Saginaw Valley State University. And so, is your mariachi group um, going to be playing with their mariachi group, Mariachi Azteca, all on the same stage, or is it individual performances, or how's that going to work?
It's going to be both. So we're going to actually, in the lobby, we're going to plan to have our students play, because we actually have a school. We actually teach mariachi music also to younger students. So their younger ensemble is going to be performing in the lobby as just a taste for our guests who are coming into the lobby and getting seated. And then when the show starts, we're going to be playing as the opener, our mariachi group. And then we're going to be joined by Mariachi Azteca for a few numbers together. So we'll have that big mariachi sound with both our ensembles playing together. And then Mariachi Azteca will be closing the night with their set list and
Wow.
their special guests.
Wow, yeah, that's gonna be an incredible sound, and is it at do you know, and I think is it at Malcolm Field Theater at
It
the
is.
Curtis Hall? Yes, and
Yes.
so that is gonna be really a treat for anybody who does attend, and I really wanna encourage everybody to get out there and buy tickets for this event. It's gonna be happening in about 10 days, Saginaw Valley State University, and you can get tickets from Maria's Restaurant over there, and, I believe Vargas Tortillas as well in the Saginaw area, so let's really encourage everybody to go. Bring your family, bring your grandparents, bring your children, and really hear this great sound that Gian is talking about. Because mariachi music at this level, I don't think has happened in our community. And if it has, it's been a very long time. So, I'm really excited to hear about what's happening. So tell me, how did this come about? And I don't know for sure if you know the specifics about how it came about. If Suzanne Quintanilla was partnering with the mariachi group. I mean, how does that happen at this level? Because it just, is unbelievable to me that this is coming together for a performance in Saginaw, Michigan.
For sure. Yeah. So part of our organization's endeavors is a really heavy investment in the professional development of our ensembles, our folklorico, and also our mariachi, so that we can really bring that authentic style and authentic traditional style to this area. So we usually reach out and do a lot of professional development with well-known musicians and artists in Mexico and also around the U.S. So we go to a lot of mariachi conferences in the Southwest, in Texas and New Mexico. The founder of Mariachi Azteca, Gino Rivera, he's a good friend of Susana Quintanilla and also one of our alumni violinists, Joseph Alcocer. He just moved to New Mexico, unfortunately, but he was originally going to play with us. But yeah, so we made that connection through Gino, and then we started going to a few of their conferences that they have, their mariachi conferences that they hold in San Antonio. So we've gone there for the past 2 years, and then I think in the works of the last conference, we started talking to them about bringing the ensemble Mariachi Azteca to Michigan, just so that we can spread the knowledge of mariachi more throughout this area, and maybe hopefully get more people inspired to pick up an instrument or try to start their own ensemble, because really that's the endeavor of this whole thing we're putting together, is to get people inspired to start their own groups. It doesn't really take that much, as not as much as work as people might think. Just
Well,
inspiration.
I think it's incredible because not only are you bringing the sound and the music, but the culture that is so beautiful. And when I have seen a group down at the University of Michigan Music Society in the mariachis in the past, um, it's breathtaking for anybody who has that love for their culture, the Mexican culture in this community. So I'm really happy to hear that they're going to be here in the Saginaw area. And tell me, if you can, about the other performances that you've got statewide, because I probably do have some listeners statewide that may be willing to go. I believe, is it Kalamazoo, one of them?
Uh, it's gonna be at Grand Valley State University, which is just outside Grand
In
Rapids in
Rapids. Okay.
Allendale. So that's gonna be on Friday, January 19th at 7 p.m. And then the one on Sunday is gonna be at Washtenaw Community College in Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti. It's gonna be at 2 p.m. So that's a matinee show.
Wow. So you don't have to go too far for that.
Right.
In Washington County. So, wow, that's awesome. And it's really kudos to Suzanne Quintanilla for starting a vision and a dream so many years ago to bring culture and dance, ballet, folklorico dance to the Flint area as well as the state of Michigan. We don't have that many groups anymore. Maybe we had more 20 years ago. And hats off to Carmen Menchaca and the group that was here in Saginaw, the Xochiquetzal Dancers, that has a lot of memories for our community. So we, as a Saginaw audience, we need to really support this group, whether you're Hispanic or not, because Ballet Folklorico is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And these are young adults who have invested a lot of time, of their time, their precious time, in culture and heritage and in dance. And in like individuals like Gian here, who is playing violin. They're also in the mariachi genre. Now, I got to tell you a story way before your time, Gian, but in 1987, I was at the what was called Pine Knob. It is Pine Knob now, because they changed the name back. But Pine Knob Theater presented Linda Ronstadt uh, for her concert, and all she did was the songs from Canciones de mi Padre, and it
Mhm.
was incredible. I mean, it really was, and I vividly remember because I went with my parents, and I didn't usually go in those days to concerts with my parents, but they wanted to go, and because if you remember, I think that album Canciones de mi Padre is the greatest selling Spanish album of all time. And here Linda Ronstadt, the rock singer, she does this because she could, because she was a big superstar at that point. And they came to Pine Knob, to Auburn Hills, and everybody from, I've seen people from Lansing there, from Saginaw, and I'm sure a whole slew of people from Detroit. And it was one of the most beautiful concerts I've ever seen with, they also had ballet folklorico dancers as part accompanying the music that she was singing. So I think that's what's gonna be kind of happening here, and, I'm really excited and wanna really push this to our community, the Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, everybody come on out to Saginaw Valley, January 20th. Do you know what the time frame is on that?
Yes, so it's going to be Saginaw Valley State University, Malcolm Field Theater. 7 p.m. is the start time of the show.
Okay. Now, Jonathan, that one is for the University of Michigan. There's the cultural showcase that's gonna be happening with Mariachi Azteca de America. And, yeah, at 7, PM Saturday. We get the Saturday show, so that's a good, usually a highly attended one.
Right, right.
And, that's really awesome. I have, Maria Sanchez Haas, who's on here on the chat room. She says, "Sounds like an awesome event. Had a mariachi group surround me on the Riverwalk in San Antonio and played to me once. It was an unforgettable experience." Wow, I can imagine. Sure was. So yeah, everybody, if you can get your tickets, there's still time. We got about 10 days out there. When this airs on radio, it will be Sunday. So less time to get your tickets. So we want to put the push out there, but you'll be able to see this show on the live stream here on Facebook and social media platforms throughout Facebook. And really try to get your family members and your friends to go. I think tickets are $30 and less for children. And, it would be very inspiring for, I'm sure, any young individual that has any inclination to go into music because the sound is going to just go through Malcolm Field Hall and just it's going to sound wonderful. What do you um, what would you say, Gian, is in store for those who are going to be in attendance in terms of kind of the layout of the performance that evening?
Oh, yeah, like I mentioned, we are gonna have our students perform. So with that, we're gonna hope to inspire some people, maybe sign up for some of our classes.
And that's gonna be outside in the hallway of Malcolm
Right.
Field,
Mhm.
so you're right in
As
Curtis
people are
Hall there,
coming
so
in,
in front of the theater.
yeah. So as people are coming in, we're gonna have our student ensembles perform like our young mariachi alebrijes in our organization. So
Oh, that's what they call themselves? That's
yes, pretty
yeah.
cute. But yeah, them and as well as some of our younger folklorico dancers. So with that, we're hoping to, like you said, inspire the younger children in attendance, or even adults. Our lessons are open to people of any age. So like I said, yeah, it's all about the kids. This event, as well as actually this is part of a larger seasonal um, lineup of events, because this concert tour is really just the opener of our 2024 event season. After this, we have a lot of other events that are planned, like a folklorico festival, Michigan. Oh, that's going to be the first one in Michigan, where we hope to bring in a lot of folklorico groups from around the state together. We
Wow,
also have,
that's awesome.
yeah, and then
What
it's going to
city
be
is it gonna be in?
that's still up for
Saginaw? Did you say Saginaw? No. No, we work with, Ballet Folklorico de Detroit. They're a wonderful group out of the
right.
Detroit area. They come, and perform, at our Cinco de Mayo, as well as Ballet Folklorico, Manicani, or I can't Jaime Carrillo is gonna be mad at me because I can't remember the name offhand, but, those are 2 phenomenal ballet folklorico groups out of the Detroit area, and, we are very fortunate to witness, their performances at our Cinco de Mayo events. We have the one from Flint that comes to our Cinco de Mayo parade in Saginaw, actually, and they have,
Mm,
marched in our parade, and they come with their, beautiful dresses, and they're always what the photographers are trying to capture them in the parade because they give it's such a great visual, and, it's just awesome that we have these groups around, and we really need to support them because, we don't have that many, but it's awesome that it's gonna continue to grow, and hopefully with this concert, there's gonna be some incentive for the younger generation to get involved with not only the dancing and the ballet folklorico, but mariachi music as well. So we're going to talk a little bit more with Gian when we come back. We're here at the Alpha Media Studios at WSGW, and we're talking here with Gian Amendres, and my name here is Larry Rodarte, and we're going to talk more about the arts, mariachi music, and ballet folklorico when we return. So there we have it. We're halfway through the show, and we're going to talk more with this young individual, and we're going to talk about how you can get tickets as well for the show that's happening at the with the University of Michigan Society in Ann Arbor, and that is going to be another great performance, a mariachi performance, and we'll talk about that when we come back into the show. But Gian, how do you feel about what you're currently doing as a spokesperson for this group? Because I've seen you on another different show, and I'm sure you're getting requests as we're going into the performances this month. How do you feel about that?
Um, I'll be honest, it's not something I'm used to. I did a special last year for Michigan Radio NPR, but that was a little bit more pre-recorded, so I had some leeway with um not having to think on the fly for every response.
Yeah, yeah. This is tough, huh? And I'm thinking on the fly for every question. No, but I'm here with my distraction here is my producer Jonathan Dent. He's over here writing, but we're gonna hear from Jonathan too, because I always ask for his opinion on what his thoughts are as a non-Hispanic about what is happening in the state of Michigan in terms of with the Hispanic community. You're on, Jonathan. What do you think?
Well, this might be something. This is one of the questions that I've written down. Is like, Larry, ask this question. But I'm kind of a music nerd slightly. So, as a musician, what would you say defines mariachi music? What's unique about it?
Well, I said this earlier at the beginning of the show, but what I really, really appreciated about mariachi music was the incorporation of a lot of different styles of music that already exist on their own. Like there's a lot of influences of classical style, of folk fiddle style, even jazz. All of those things are really, really well incorporated into the different genres and subgenres of mariachi music. And so that's why I think a lot of people can really resonate with it. If people from all different backgrounds or who have tastes in different styles of music, they can all really find that thing in mariachi that might draw them to it, is because of all those different facets that make up the sound of mariachi.
Well, we gotta save that question because that was a great answer, and I want my audience that's on radio to be able to hear that because not everybody who will be watching the social media platforms on here, but they will listen in on Sunday for the radio show. So let's go back into the show and talk more with this young man, Gian Amendres.
Almendras.
Almendras. And we're going to talk more about the upcoming performance at Saginaw Valley State University.
You're listening to Gente on Air on WSGW.
Welcome back, mi gente. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of Mi Gente on Air here at the Alpha Media Studios at WSGW. I am your host, Larry Rodarte, and it feels great to be back in the studio. And it's a new year, so happy new year to my audience out there. It's been a while. It's been about, 2-3 weeks, Jonathan, that I've been on the air here?
I think last time we were talking about the tamale taste-off.
Oh, wow. So that was before December 17th, which, by the way, it was a wonderful event. And I really want to extend the congratulations and thank you to Art Lewis, because he was a judge at the Tamale Taste Off. And he was fortunate to be able to taste all the different tamale vendors and their tamales, and it was just nice to see. He was one of our celebrity judges, and nice to see him there. And I was on the show with him that Friday before, and what was really interesting was he said that he was in for quite a surprise last year when he attended with his wife and had a different view on what tamales and how they were going to actually taste. And when he tasted them, especially mine, he was really in for a surprise. So thank you, Art Lewis, for being with us at the Tamale Taste Off at Newville Catholic Central High School on December 17th as a celebrity judge. But we have here with us in the show today a young man who is part of the Ballet Folklorico in Flint that had been put on way back. Was founded by Susan Quintanilla, and they're going to be having a presentation at Saginaw Valley State University on January 20th. Gian, I want to ask you, we talked about who is the ensemble of your group. Can you tell us, is it just U of M Flint students, or is it part of the community of not necessarily students? Who is in your group?
Yeah, no, for sure. Everybody in our group comes from quite a lot of different places, and
Oh,
certainly a lot of people have passed through our group from different backgrounds as well. So our ensemble is probably not the typical mariachi you'd see, but we're quite multi-ethnic. But all of us, have a deep appreciation for mariachi music and the Mexican culture.
oh wow. So they don different mariachi outfits, not necessarily Latinos, but they have that Latino music in their heart and they're out there performing mariachis. Oh, that's
Right.
awesome.
And that's
That's
why we
really
have such a heavy investment in the professional development of our musicians and our dancers. We actually go out to meet well-known musicians and artists who are willing to share their knowledge of authentic mariachi style. So we've traveled out to Mexico as well as the Southwest to do those excursions and learn from the best.
and when you go to these excursions and they're like mariachi festivals or what have you, I mean, to hear the sound that you would hear there at this conference or what have you must be incredibly beautiful. Tell
Oh,
us
for
about
sure.
that experience.
Oh, it's just, so different from anything that you would probably see here in Michigan, just because they have, that much more saturation of resources, and Latinos. But yeah, just hundreds of students who are so dedicated to and so passionate about learning mariachi. It's just an amazing sight to see.
Wow, I have a question from one of our audience members, and he said, "As a musician, what defines mariachi music, and what is unique about the genre?"
So mariachi music, that the style of music that's very attributed to Mexico and Mexican culture. It's it's something that really incorporates a lot of facets from different styles of music that already exist on their own. So it incorporates a lot of music from the classical style, from folk music and fiddle music, traditional styles, and also even more modernly, it incorporates a lot of jazz elements as well. So, and even opera, it
Wow.
has in those rancheras you can really hear how reminiscent it is of what opera is like. So how mariachi ties all of those together as well as its own indigenous rhythmic roots. It's really what makes that genre special and unique, and that's what makes it so attractive, especially to people who probably might not listen to it all the time. Is that people who listen to different genres of music can all find that common ground in mariachi.
Wow, very nice. Can you tell me about the singers that are going to be coming, the guest singers, Jonathan and I believe it is Randa Garcia. Tell me a little bit about what the audience members can expect from them.
Oh, gladly. Well, so Jonathan Palomar, he's a pretty well renowned vocalist and musician, and he's traveled and performed with Mariachi Vargas de Tecalitlan. I think everybody knows who that is, right?
Yeah. Mariachi Vargas is like the Cadillac of the mariachi groups.
For sure. Yeah. So he's definitely a powerhouse all on his own. He's toured internationally with Mariachi Vargas, and also with Grammy-winning singer Luis Miguel. Actually,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Jonathan, do we have a picture of him, the singer, the mariachi singer that is Jonathan? There he is. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, he has sung with Luis Miguel, the famous Mexican singer.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. And he's coming to our area, Saginaw. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people won't expect. Yeah, having a musician of that caliber, in addition to all our other amazing musicians who are coming.
And then Rhonda Garcia, tell us about her and what her involvement has been.
So Rhonda is she's quite a barrier-breaking singer and violinist who's joining us. So she's the first woman to join the famous mariachi groups, Mariachi Campañas de América and Mariachi Los Caporales.
Mm. And I think she has probably then performed at the University of Michigan Musical Society in Ann Arbor, just as Mariachi Vargas has also performed there. I know that. And that has kind of been like the closest that we in the Saginaw area have gotten to those mariachi groups. And I know we've traveled down to Ann Arbor for those. And so this is really a special treat for us in the Great Lakes Bay region because it's home, it's close.
Right.
And it's Saginaw Valley, January 20th at 7 p.m. So get your tickets this week and join me and join Gian. We're going to be out there. He's going to be performing. I'm going to be sitting in the audience with popcorn, right? But it's going to be a wonderful event for the culture and heritage of our community. And I hope that many out there in the audience, whether you're Hispanic or non-Hispanics, are going to get a real feel and taste for this treat of a performance at Malcolm Forbes Theater. So I also want to ask you, Gian, was it really difficult? Because I mentioned in the beginning of the show, was it difficult to have a university such as Wayne State or even Saginaw Valley or Grand Valley State to be receptive to the idea of having mariachi and ballet folklóricos performances at their universities?
No, I don't think so. It's really it's all about the availability of the venue. I don't see, or we didn't really encounter any resistance to having us have this event there at all.
Wow, that's great. That's great to hear. That's we've come a long way, I think. But do you work with other groups often? Around the state of Michigan or even throughout the United States? Are there other groups that your group works with?
Well, locally, we try to reach out to a lot of schools and help start up programs. So, part of this lineup that I mentioned earlier of events for our 2024 season is the second annual Michigan Youth Mariachi Festival, which is going to be, I think, maybe May. But anyway, that's going to be incorporating student groups from our organization as well as groups from Detroit and Ann Arbor. Well, we actually have a school, Academy of the Americas in Detroit.
Yes.
Where we have an after-school mariachi program that we've helped start and get on its feet for the past 2 years. So really, it's all about it's for those kids to help them develop their technique as mariachis, and hopefully they become where we are now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one of the great cheerleaders that has been pushing this event in our community locally is Manuel Lopez, the art teacher from Bridgeport, the former art teacher from Bridgeport, I should say. He's now retired. But he got on the phone and he gave me a call and he was on me for a couple of days saying, we got to push this, Larry. And so, I want to give him a shout out because he and his brother Marcus, they also cornered me at Maria's restaurant. And, so here we are because, it is that important of an event. And if anybody can share this show or share the posts, because the marketing on this has been pretty good. I've seen the different posts from the websites about the singers, Jonathan and Randa, and as well as I've seen the flyer that has gone around, and it's really important when we have these types of events. The marketing is very important. So I'm glad that Mi Gente on Air tonight, we are able to give you this exposure to not only our Latino community that is watching tonight in the room and all, but also the non-Hispanics that will hear this on the radio program on Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Mi Gente on Air. And I hope that they will also attend and get a real sense of what mariachi music is, that is based not only locally with your group as well as Aztecas de America. And, that's going to be an incredible performance, and I'm pretty excited about it. Is there anything else that you can think of that you would like to add that you'd want my audience to know?
Oh well, they can buy tickets online too if they can't go out to the restaurant physically or to those locations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the tickets are available for all three venues for all 3 days online at our website ebfedance.org.
Say that again slower.
ebfedance.org. So EBFE stands for El Ballet Folclórico Estudiantil.
Great, great. I'm glad you said that. And if they wanted to call anybody on there, is there a number as well for the group?
Yeah, on the website, if they go there, there will be a number that is available for both English and Spanish speakers.
Great, great. Okay. So I want Jonathan to throw up the actual flyer again for the performances, the 3 performances that is happening in Wayne State, Grand Valley State University, and Saginaw Valley State University. As you can see there, it's the cultural showcase. And then we have to talk about what's happening in Ann Arbor on January 23rd as well. We have the flyer for that as well. And that's at the University Musical Society. And that is Mariachi Herencia de Mexico. And get this, they've got La Marisol. She's a great singer. The group she's with is Santa Cecilia. And if you are a TikTok fan, or if you know of this progressive new group that is singing such beautiful music, she's incredible. It's another show that we want to promote on this show, because on our Mi Gente on Air show, because they do a great job bringing ballet folclóricos. Alma Hernandez, I think, was here last year, and they have also have, like I said, Mariachi Vargas in the past. And so, we really need to support these groups. If you're listening to my voice and you're hearing this show, I hope that you will consider attending the show at Saginaw Valley State University January 20th, or the one down at the University of Michigan Musical Society on January 23rd. 2 big performances in a week's period. And Guion's right at the center of it all, because he's coming from Ann Arbor himself. That's where he lives, and he's going to be there probably for that show as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So good thing it's not falling on the show when you guys are going to be performing, because you're going to be there performing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then that's probably like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, that performance. So there's a lot of things going on in Michigan. That's awesome to hear.
Mhm.
And from a cultural and heritage standpoint, I think this is a first, because, like I said, it's the rarity of mariachi music performances, usually once a year at the University of Michigan Musical Society, and they've done that for a number of different years. But then this year in 2024, the kickoff with your mariachi group. Now, what is your mariachi group actually called?
Right now we're attached to El Ballet Folclórico Estudiantil.
Okay, so that group there is kicking off 2024, a series of concerts and performances this year, as well as the festival for the mariachi. Is it mariachi or ballet folklorico, or both? That will be the second annual.
Yes.
Which one is it? Is it for both? And
Oh, you
where
mean
was it last year?
the festivals that we threw?
Where was it last year though?
Oh yeah, so sorry, I didn't understand your question earlier, but for the Folklorico Festival, it's going to be the first one in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the second annual mariachi festival, the one we had last year, the inaugural one, that one was in Ann Arbor at Tappan Middle School, because they had their mariachi ensemble host.
Okay. So please make sure that I know about that so I can spread the word as well. Because that's wonderful that we have that in the
For
state
sure.
of Michigan, and we really want to help you and promote that
Well,
because,
thank you.
as you have said, to the incentive for any young individual to continue on in this great musical mariachi genre as well as the ballet folklorico is really
Right. And we have a couple more events to add on to that season. We have bilingual musical theater production, as well as a mariachi summer camp for those individuals who, specifically for those who wanted to try learning an instrument in mariachi.
wow. Okay. Okay. Have you ever thought or envisioned performing in the Philippines?
You know,
Mariachi.
that's I actually thought about that quite a bit because there's a lot of universities in the Philippines that have a heavy um, study program in Latino music, so and world music in general. But there's a couple universities who have interest in learning more about Latin music. So perhaps it might be in the cards in the future.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to Jaime Carrillo. Uh, Carrillo, and he is part of the dance group that I mentioned earlier from Detroit that we have worked with several times in the past at our Cinco de Mayo event, as our Taco Fest here in Saginaw. And they are the Ballet Folklorico Moyocani Isi. And I know that's a very tongue twister. I hope I'm giving it justice, but we just want to make sure that they know that we're thinking of them as well because they do a great job when they are performing as well. Antonio Villarreal, he says, love to see this. He's a Detroit native or Saginaw native living now in Detroit, and he will probably be at one of the shows. So, congratulations to all of you who are part of this show tonight because you have a chance to win tickets, and that is for the University of Michigan Musical Society show with could you put that up there again, the flyer with mariachi. Um, and I have to ask a question, so that we can have a winner, not that one, the other one. Yes, this is the one. The University of Michigan Society is presenting the Mariachi Herencia de Mexico with La Marisol. She is going to be the guest appearance, and she is part of the group Santa Cecilia. And if you haven't heard of her, you've got to look her up on TikTok or wherever you may Spotify and her music, because she really does some great vocals on some songs that are Mexican standards as well as new music with her group. And that's really a coup, I think, that she's coming to the Ann Arbor area on January 23rd. So I want to ask a question to my audience out there. If anybody can tell me the year that Mi Gente magazine started, please put the answer in the first correct answer will get 2 tickets to this performance at the University of Michigan Musical Society with the great mariachi group. Anybody out there? And I just want to ask Gian here, what do your folks think about you performing in this genre of music?
Oh, they're very encouraging. You know, they've always supported my endeavors, regardless of whatever that may be. And you know, they're also musicians themselves in their spare
Really?
time. So yeah, that's why I think it kind of runs in the family anyway.
Yeah. I think that's in most musicians, their family, they come from musical families, and that's what makes them, who they are as people. And I guess that's with any kind of family member. They if you're involved with cooking and restaurants, you probably come from parents that are also culinary experts. So I mean,
Mhm.
that kind of goes with it. But that's awesome. And I have Ana Sanchez on here, and she says, "Can you repeat the website?" So see, she wants to hear the website again, and I'm going to let you do that because you know.
Okay, no problem. It is EBFE dance.org.
Okay, you got that, Anna? Anna, how were the tamales you had for Christmas? No, listen, I want to ask you too, because my producer threw me this question. He says, do most students already know how to play instruments, or are you teaching them the basics?
It depends. We have students who come from all different levels of experience. Our focus, regardless of what that level is to incorporate mariachi education into that into that approach of teaching. So whether they're starting from the very basics beginner level or they're already well advanced, that's going to be our focus. Is you're just getting them really exposed to the mariachi music style.
Wonderful. Okay. So I want you to encourage others in the Ann Arbor area or your connections over there to watch the show on the platform here on social media all week long. It will be available either through the WSGW website or Mi Gente on Air, not the website, the Facebook page. Mi Gente on Air or Mi Gente Magazine or my personal page, Larry Rodarte, so that they can, push this performance that's going to be happening in the Michigan areas. That's incredible that you guys have networked and teamed up with three major universities and are going to share the gift of this cultural phenomena of mariachi music and ballet folklorico. So hats off to whoever put all that together. And I know I organize events as well. So it's not easy. It's not an easy endeavor by any means. So, hats off again to the great Suzanne Quintanilla for what she started so many years ago. And just hats off to all those who are participating on January 20th and who are going to make their way down to the Great Lakes Bay region here. Because we are in for a first, I think, and it's going to be awesome to be able to hear Azteca de America from San Antonio. They're originally from Mexico, though, correct?
Yeah, I think a lot of their members actually have backgrounds performing with other groups,
Yes.
like Los Compañeros and Mariachi Vargas, or have worked with artists from those groups. So they're from all over, and they're all well and pretty well renowned.
Well, it sure seems that mariachi music is really growing leaps and bounds, and it's becoming more and more popular throughout the state of Michigan as well as throughout the United States and internationally. So that's a wonderful
Yeah,
thing to hear and know.
especially mariachi music education is becoming a very big thing in a lot of schools as well, and that's something that we definitely want to make that we want to bring to the music education system here in Michigan.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we'll see you on January 20th at Saginaw Valley State University, 7 p.m. Curtis Hall at the Malcolm Fields Theater. Am I saying that right, Jonathan? Is it Fields or Forbes? I can't even remember right now. Fields. And it's going to be an awesome show. So encourage everybody to come on out. We want to thank you, Gian, for being with us on Mi Gente on Air here in the Alpha Media Studios in Saginaw, Michigan. And, congratulations on the University of Michigan win to everybody out there last night. That was wonderful. And we just want to say thank you for tuning in, everybody. So have a good night, and we'll see you next week here on Mi Gente on Air.
Thank you.
So thank you, everybody that tuned in to the show tonight. Is there any last words, Gian, that you have for my audience on the social media platform here?
Well, we just wanna thank everybody who's going to be coming to these shows. We hope that we can make something like this happen again. So with a hopefully with a good turnout, we can make that happen.
Yeah, I think it'll be wonderful. I just an idea came across my mind as you said that, so I'm going to have to get in touch with you again after the show and talk a little bit about that. But so hats off to all of you that are going to be involved, because it's a wonderful thing that you're doing and sharing with the masses at three different universities. Again, for everybody out there, just remember they're going to be performing January 20th at Saginaw Valley State University, and you can get your tickets at Maria's Restaurant on State Street or Vargas Tortillas, or you can go on their website online. And one more time for the website, Gan.
ebfedance.org.
All right. So thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. I love seeing young people who are doing great things. And good luck to you, young man, in anything that you do, especially with mariachi music.
Thank you so much for giving us this outlet.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week here on Mi Gente on Air.